Hola,
Hola,
we're your hosts,
Clash Rant,
and I'm Rubigold May.
and this is the Delirious Minds Podcast. Welcome everyone to episode 4 of Delirious Minds. Today we will be taking the Big 5 personality test, also known as the Ocean personality test. We'll be taking this test from big5test.com. That's big, F-I-V-E-test.com.
However, like previous tests, there are plenty of other websites to also take this particular personality assessment from. The Big 5 is another major personality assessment from the psychology world, and you are rated on 5 different aspects, as the name suggests.
These aspects are openness to experience, conscientiousness, extraversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism, which is where the ocean comes from. O for openness, C for conscientiousness, and so on.
On big5test.com, there are 120 questions, which are, much like the previous tests, given in the form of statements that you rate yourself on, from very inaccurate to very accurate. However, the statements from this test are not complete sentences. The first of these sentence fragments is worry about things.
Okay, for me, worry about things is a very accurate sentence fragment.
I guess moderately accurate for me.
That probably makes sense, because obviously I worry more. So.
Yeah, you do worry more.
Okay.
Make friends easily.
I'm going to say very accurate again. I make friends as frequently as I possibly can.
I'm going to say moderately accurate.
Okay.
Have a vivid imagination. Very accurate.
I was going to say, I feel like yours is probably going to have to be higher than mine, because I'm thinking about the way you dream and also just like storytelling and writing and stuff.
Oh my god, my dreams.
Your dreams are very vivid and I can't get there. So I'm going to say moderately accurate, because still for the most part.
Okay. Complete tasks successfully.
What is that? Complete tasks successfully. Usually, I'm successful when I'm.
Who completes tasks unsuccessfully?
That's what I was thinking. It's like, if you completed the task, what's unsuccessful? Or does it mean that you like consistently are able to complete tasks? Like you are successful at completing tasks?
That's what it's trying to get at.
Okay. These sentence fragments are not very clear with leaving out words.
Very accurate.
I'm trying to think. Maybe procrastination would make me say moderately accurate. Maybe I'm just gonna say moderately accurate just to be safe.
If you're saying that, then
I don't want to fully commit to very accurate if I'm not 100% sure.
Okay.
Next one.
Often feel blue. Interesting way to state that.
I don't know how, because I feel like I could get somewhat deeper with this, because in general, like day-to-day life, I'm very consistent and I'm very like happy and positive. Just in general, that's like my standard mood, and it doesn't really shift. I don't have like mood swings often enough. It's like this I feel like is immediately, I was gonna say very inaccurate, but there's a little bit of just like deep down under everything for the recently in life usually. I don't know
what you're talking about,
where I'm just sad somewhere underneath all of it. It's not relevant for the most part, but like sometimes for me it's like, oh yeah, I'm just not fully happy right now. So I don't know what to say.
I'm basing my answer off of your answer, so
are you gonna say less than, or are you gonna say more often than me?
Yeah, because
I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I'm just going to say moderately inaccurate, because I was going to say very inaccurate, but I'm going to leave some room for that underlying bullshit.
Because I feel like this, like, I'm at peak mental health right now. Yes. And, like, in the winter, if I took this, I'd probably say, like, very accurate. But right now, I want to say neither accurate nor inaccurate.
Which is interesting to bring up, because they asked this question as part of a test, and because it's not outright asked like this usually on the other tests, but, like, when you take the other tests, sometimes like having depression or like being the seasonal whatever is changing it. It's like this is actually like a tangible question that would change because of that, like directly for this one. So
the next one is love a good fight.
This is so vague.
What is that like?
It's kind of like the I enjoy watching people argue from one of the other ones.
Do we like watching an argument? Do we like being in an argument?
Do we like watching
a physical fight?
Yeah, do we like being in a physical fight? Do we like watching a physical fight? Do we like arguments or being in arguments? This is not enough context.
I feel like
generally I'm just gonna say no.
I'm saying very inaccurate.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna also say very inaccurate. Like I never want to be in a fight because I will lose. And I don't usually like watching people fight. Watching people argue, I did say yes to that to some extent on the other quiz, but because it says fight, That sounds a bit more violent, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna say no. Anyway,
The next one is work hard.
this is gonna give me imposter syndrome because sometimes I feel like I just don't work hard enough. I'm constantly struggling with being enough, in my opinion of myself.
Me too.
But I do think in general I like to say I work hard.
I feel like I want to do moderately accurate.
I might okay. I can't say more than you, so I'm gonna say that too.
Yeah, I think that's good.
That was
for
kind of
me.
irrelevant,
Like, I've always been a hard worker, and we had that one teacher in high school that was always like, I'd rather have a C student who works hard to get C's than an A student who doesn't work at all. And that's always stuck with me, even though I am an A student. Radiate joy.
Radiate joy. Do I radiate joy?
Sometimes. You
So
never radiate the opposite of joy.
that's fair. Yeah, I guess I'll just say moderately accurate then.
Do you think that I can say moderately accurate? Or do I need to say
I
neither?
think you should say neither.
Okay, sounds good. I know why you're saying that.
Okay.
So. Enjoy wild flights of fantasy.
This is my favorite sentence fragment so far.
I don't like the way it's phrased.
I like it. I'm gonna say moderately accurate because I feel like maybe you should say very accurate.
Okay, sure. Believe that others have good intentions. Yeah, very accurate. Most people do have good intentions. I do believe people.
We did talk about that, how people have different. No one's trying to be bad. They just have what they think is good is not always the same as what other people think is good. But yeah, usually the intentions are good. So.
Am always on the go.
See, this
that mean?
is an ADHD screening question. I'm gonna say very accurate, maybe moderately, but I think very. I just explain it as like I'm always trying to like do something, like I'm never like just still, and like I'm just always doing something, in my brain is also always going, and there's just something and it doesn't stop ever. So
I guess if that's the way you're viewing it, then I'm gonna say very accurate too.
okay,
I was gonna do moderately accurate, but I don't know. Maybe it's just because I'm like viewing it from the lens of my world right now, because everything is just very go go go. I haven't stopped in several days.
I haven't stopped.
I don't remember the last time I was able to sleep in.
That's true. I do think about it this way. I haven't felt this as much lately because I am very much right now trying to live in the moment and then just like take in everything, especially because I'm leaving. Like that's part of it. But like in general, throughout my life, I have had this like kind of mentality of like being in a rush and like always trying to do everything really quickly and get like just in every facet of life, just trying to do everything really quickly and like get through it and like get to the next thing type thing.
Yeah.
That could kind of be like this, I guess. I don't know.
That makes, yeah. Seek adventure.
Yours is very, obviously.
Yes.
And see, because sometimes like thinking about us, like you'll want to do things, and I'm like, no, I would rather not. But like in life, again, going to Chicago is kind of an adventure, and like kind of doing other things, and like I want to travel and stuff. Like I want to go to Europe again, and I did. And I don't know, stuff like that. So I think I'm just gonna say moderately accurate.
Avoid philosophical discussion.
Very inaccurate for both of us. That's funny.
That's all we talk about.
Yeah.
Carry out my plans.
That sounds so like malicing. Like I need to carry out my plans.
What are you saying for this?
Either moderately or very, I think. Accurate.
I'm in this. I don't know. Very or moderately accurate. That's also where.
Do you want to go above or below me? Or the same?
I want to go the same. I think.
I think that makes sense.
I guess I'll do very accurate.
Okay, then me too.
Do not like poetry.
Very inaccurate for
Very
both of
inaccurate.
us, obviously. These ones are always so funny. The ones about like art or like
I
conversations.
swear, there's at least one poetry poem sent between us each day. So.
Yes, no, for real.
Easily resist temptations.
I'm gonna say very inaccurate, because holy shit.
I'm gonna say neither nor.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I cannot resist temptation.
You can't.
My will is so weak. Don't look at me like that.
Enjoy being reckless.
Yes, but like I'm usually not. It's fun. I just
So what do you say?
You're gonna say higher than me, right?
Yeah. Or the same. Same or higher. Depends on what you say.
I might say moderately inaccurate.
Okay, I'm saying neither nor.
Like, even us going into the water.
Oh, I love doing that.
Anyway, whatever. Next question.
Have difficulty understanding abstract ideas.
I'm gonna say very
Very
inaccurate.
inaccurate.
Like, literally just us talking about physics and, like, infinity or, like, time. Anyway.
Next one says love life, and I know it's saying I love life, but the two words
Love
together
life.
is like
That's exactly what I
love
thought. My love life is very accurate. No, I'm gonna say very accurate though. I do
right
love
now
life.
it's very accurate.
I was just thinking last night at the fire because I was a little bit cold at some point, and I was like, you know what? I should like just savor being cold because I was like, it's just like part of being alive. Like, this sensation is like so. Like, I was just thinking about that, but then eventually it was overwhelming, and I was a pussy, and I was like, no, I'm just cold. I was looking at the stars and shit, and I was like, I just need to like, I'm just alive right now, and that is like so much.
That's like my thing with like seeing the beauty where others
Yeah,
don't.
exactly.
Like, sensations that are sometimes negative, I'm like, well, I don't like this, but it's still like,
Nietzsche.
an experience. I fucking love Nietzsche.
I still don't know how to fucking say his name actually, but yeah.
And it's really funny because I just finished 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson.
Plug, yeah.
I'm not plugging it. It was too religious.
Fair.
It was good. It was interesting. He's a very educated man, but too religious. But he talked about Nietzsche a lot and bashed on Nietzsche, and he's super religious, and religious people don't like Nietzsche. But he didn't like Nietzsche's nihilistic approach to things. I think I'm actually there's two more. There's like existentialism and then absurdism.
Yes.
It's a philosophy based on the belief that the universe is irrational and meaningless, and that the search for the search for order brings the individual to conflict with the universe. Existentialism is a form of philosophical inquiry that explores the issue of human existence. Existentialist philosophers explore questions related to the meaning, purpose, and value of human existence. The universe is meaningless. There's no point to life. And the way to overcome that and not be a nihilist and fall into, like, the depressive view of the world is to scorn it. And by scorning it, therefore, overcome the meaninglessness.
I think, yeah, that reminds me.
Make your own meaning.
That sounds more like what you sent that one time. And
that's what I believe.
Yeah.
So.
See, and then, because, yeah, what I hate is, like, when people think about nihilism, usually it's like they're like, oh, you just like think nothing matters, and like that you have that like depressive view. And I don't think you have to look at nihilism that way.
No.
Like, just because, like, fuck, there is a quote, and I don't remember exactly how it goes or who it was by or whatever, but it's like the fact that the world is meaningless, it's like then we have to give it meaning. Just because it's meaningless doesn't mean that it has to be meaningless to us, or that like we have like that I'm just gonna be like, oh, nothing matters, so I'm gonna like go and do a bunch of bad shit. Like, that's not the point of that.
The meaning of life is to make your own.
Yeah.
Your own meaning.
Exactly.
Like, the universe is this great, big, wide open thing with so much possibility and potential.
Yeah.
And we just happen to exist in it, and
yeah.
The universe doesn't need to give us a purpose. The universe made us so we can make our own purpose. If we're getting like spiritual.
Right, like us searching for our own. Yeah, it's like there isn't one.
Yeah.
Nothing matters, and like even us talking about this, it doesn't matter. Nothing's going to matter by the time like everything's gonna be gone, and there will be no memory of it, and whatever. It's just like a blip.
But we had the chance to be alive.
Exactly.
During that blip, and that's what's so beautiful.
Yeah, the fact that it is so random and like honestly, the fact that it is meaningless gives it more meaning. That's
how I think.
Yeah.
And then like religious people are like, that seems like such a terrible existence to think that way. And I'm like, no, it's beautiful.
I don't get how they don't see that.
And it's like all of this is here. Like at the fire last night, we were staring at the stars and shit. And like all of this is here, and we get to experience it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But we still get to.
And that's only ever going to matter to us. It's not gonna. It just. Yeah.
So glad we agree on that.
Yeah.
See, guys, we do have philosophical conversations.
Yeah.
Here's the proof.
Yep. Here's the proof. I love how I liked how that came from the love life question though, because that was just like such a I don't know. Yeah.
But that's
clearly an important.
Very accurate. We do
Yes.
love life. See results.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I don't know why I went like this.
interesting. I'm gonna need some definitions on these, but
All right, neuroticism. Is that your first one?
Yep.
Like it's going
yeah.
in E. Okay. Neuroticism is. I always explain it so poorly.
Well, scroll down.
Oh, is there an actual?
Neuroticism refers to the tendency to experience negative feelings, and it breaks it down. Oh, this is such a call out. What does yours say?
So,
what was your base neuroticism? Just
my base neuroticism is 69.
mine's 56.
That seems wrong to me.
No, it does. It seems right to me, because scroll down and look at the breakdowns. Because I think in general, because my anxiety's at 19. Obviously, I have anxiety, and I usually only attribute that to neuroticism. But thinking about the other things, this makes more sense.
Okay.
Because my anxiety is obviously very high. I know that. But my anger.
Before we get into this, what's your depression?
6.
Interesting. Okay.
Is yours higher?
Yes.
Yeah. That's why I thought that it makes sense that yours is gonna be higher, because there's other things in here. And self-consciousness as 1, which is also 6 for me.
Okay, so my anxiety's at 13.
And mine's at 19. It's 1 point away from being as high as it can go.
Yeah. My anger's at 10.
Mine's at 7.
That
makes sense, yeah.
Depression's at 10.
6. Makes sense.
Self-consciousness is at 17.
Oh, mine's at 6. I think that makes sense. So again, that's kind of interesting. In moderation?
11.
12. I think that also makes sense.
Vulnerability's at 8.
Mine's at 6. I feel like my vulnerability actually should be a little bit higher, but I'm still fine with. I think that still makes sense for the most part.
So for all but 2, I have higher than you.
Yes.
And the one of the 2 is only 1 higher for you. So that does make sense with the total neuroticism.
It's just that I have anxiety, basically, is what this has gathered, which I know. Thank you, quiz. It says my overall score is low. Does it categorize it for you?
It says low.
Okay, because my anxiety is high, and everything else here is low.
Oh, yeah.
A moderation is neutral. Everything else is low.
My anxiety is high, and everything else is low.
Yeah. Even your depression, what was that at again? Was that only at 10?
It's at 10.
Okay, never mind.
Self-consciousness is at high.
Okay.
That's a high.
That's what I knew there was one more. I forgot what it was. Yeah. I like this one. This is good results.
I like it too. This is one of the more it doesn't like give you an archetype and it's like this is what
it just breaks down.
It gives you it tells you what it is. So this is actually a more accepted test in the psychology world than the other 2 major ones we took.
Exactly. I like this. Okay, extroversion?
88.
101.
That makes so much sense for us.
Yep. And it breaks it down a lot.
Even
I feel like all of these
it's high on my like the total thing for extroversion.
Yeah, mine says high.
Well, obviously. So
friendliness?
15.
18. That makes sense.
Gregariousness. I've heard this word, but I don't know what it means.
Well, let's look up the exact definition before we.
It also gives us a definition here.
Oh, I guess you're right.
But the exact definition is the tendency for human beings to enjoy the company of others and to want to associate with them in social activities.
Yeah, mine says fond of company or sociable, which this is about to make so much sense. Mine's at 20.
Mine's at 9.
That is one of the core things, how we keep saying about like the groups and stuff, and I always want to be with people and you don't, and then like just throughout the quiz when we were saying that, I'm maxed out on gregariousness.
Oh, so with the definition I read, it didn't make a lot of sense that mine was at 9 because I do like being with friends, but the definition here that they get for it is like talking about the excitement of crowds and stuff, so that makes more sense because I don't like the excitement.
Yeah, it says low scores tend to feel overwhelmed by and therefore actively avoid large crowds.
Yeah. Assertiveness.
I feel like this should be my lowest one, but it's not by 1. Mine's 13.
Mine's 14.
I think yours should be high. I think mine should actually be lower for this than it is. But I guess like me taking the lead and stuff like in the workplace is kind of how that maybe interfered with it. I don't know.
I do think mine should be higher just because of.
Yeah, I think so too.
But in my overall score for that, it says it's high.
Mine says it's high too.
Oh, weird.
I guess if it's just over halfway maybe, or over 12 probably.
I guess.
8 to 12 is probably moderate or whatever.
Wait, no, I just read the first
Activity level.
one. Activity level.
What's yours?
17.
19. I think that one
makes sense to me. Yeah.
See, excitement seeking, I feel like this is my lowest, and I feel like it should be higher. Mine's at 12.
Mine's at 15.
I feel like mine should be higher, like at least the same, or maybe a little bit lower than yours, but still closer.
Yeah, mine should be higher than yours, but
yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. Cheerfulness.
18.
19. That also makes
that
sense.
Makes sense.
I think I can almost be at 20 for that too, but whatever.
All of these are high for me except gregariousness.
My excitement seeking is neutral, but all of mine are high.
Oh, I didn't know there was a neutral one. We didn't get that yet, so.
Oh.
Interesting.
So yeah, friendliness says friendly people genuinely like other people and openly demonstrate positive feelings toward others. They make friends quickly, and it's easy for them to form close, intimate relationships. Low scores are not necessarily cold and hostile, but they do not reach out to others and are perceived as distant and reserved. I wanted activity level. It says they lead fast-paced, busy lives. They move about quickly, energetically, and vigorously, and they are involved in many activities. Yes, that's very true. That one was
17 for me makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Openness to experience now.
106.
I got 97. I guess that makes sense because sometimes I am more like, oh, I'd rather just not do that type thing.
That's my highest one.
Is it?
Yeah.
I think extroversion was my highest one. Yeah. This is my third highest one.
It says it's high for me overall.
Yeah. Same.
Openness to experience describes the dimension of cognitive style that distinguishes imaginative, creative people from down-to-earth, conventional people.
Interesting. So that, again, makes sense why yours would be higher.
Shit.
So imagination, mine's at 16. Is yours at 20?
No, it's at 19.
19, okay.
Artistic interests.
19.
20.
That makes sense.
Emotionality.
15.
20.
That makes sense. Adventurousness. 15.
15.
I feel like yours should be higher.
I do.
By a little bit.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Intellect.
19.
19.
Okay, I was gonna say, I was like, I do not want yours to be higher than mine. I don't care if it's the same, but I don't want it to be higher.
It's good that it's tied.
Yes, that is good.
Liberalism.
13.
Wait a minute. What does that mean? Okay.
Psychological liberalism refers to a readiness to challenge authority, convention, and traditional values. In its most extreme form, psychological liberalism can even represent outright hostility toward rules, sympathy for lawbreakers, and love of ambiguity, chaos, and disorder. Psychological conservatives prefer the security and stability brought by conformity to tradition. Psychological liberalism and conservatism are not identical to political affiliation, but certainly incline individuals towards certain political parties.
That's interesting.
So what is yours?
It's also 13.
I feel like we didn't answer the same for any questions that would be kind of like that, I guess.
Yeah.
So that makes sense overall. Okay, imagination is pretty self-explanatory. Yeah. This makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's like imagination, artistic interests, those are like literally traits that those are your traits.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Emotionality, again, that's also you. Mine at 15 still says that's high. My score of 13 on liberalism is still high, I guess.
Interesting.
That's weird. Anyway, okay. I feel like this one's pretty
But I
self-explanatory.
have 2 20s on this one and 2 19s, so that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreeableness.
95.
88. Interesting.
I feel like you're pretty agreeable.
I was gonna say, I feel like I've had this, when I looked at this in psychology and was reading through that, I was thinking at the time that I was more agreeable than you.
Mm-hmm.
And there was more reasoning back then.
No, I think you're more agreeable than me, so...
I'm so confused. I might know why.
Oh, did you scroll down and look?
Yeah.
Where is it? I didn't go down far enough yet.
Well, I didn't look at it. I'm just looking at the score. We'll get there. Let's just go through the scores.
I know.
Okay. Yep.
Trust.
Trust is 17.
Also 17.
I guess I think that makes sense.
Morality.
19.
18.
I think that makes sense.
Altruism.
13.
19.
That makes sense. Cooperation.
17.
18. Modesty.
9.
5. Sympathy.
15.
16. See, I feel like we're pretty even. I feel like
my sympathy is supposed to be higher than yours.
Yes, I'd agree with that. I feel like your sympathy is supposed to be higher than mine. I feel like, what was your cooperation? 17?
Yeah.
Okay, mine's 18. I don't know.
That makes sense to me.
I guess, yeah, this, for the most part, doesn't make sense. But again, I think my modesty being lower is part of why it's whatever.
All of these, except modesty, are high for me.
My altruism, it's still high. Yeah, same then.
Interesting.
I want to see morality. It says high scores on the scale see no need for pretense or manipulation when dealing with others and are therefore candid, frank, and sincere. That makes sense. Low scores use deception, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, I guess
That makes sense.
Yeah. Altruism says find helping other people genuinely rewarding. So I guess yours definitely should be higher than mine.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay, I think the rest of it's pretty self-explanatory. Conscientiousness,
87.
98. This is my second highest one.
Interesting. I don't actually know what this one.
Did yours say high still? It should, right? Overall.
Yes. Conscientiousness. I can't fucking pronounce it.
I've said it so much today.
Conscientiousness.
Conscientiousness. Good enough.
Concerns the way in which we control, regulate, and direct our impulses.
Interesting.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Why mine? Yeah. Okay. Self-efficacy. Mine's 16.
Mine's 15.
Okay.
What does that mean? Self-efficacy
describes confidence in one's abilities to accomplish things. High scorers believe they have the intelligence, common sense, drive, and self-control necessary for achieving success. I think that makes sense, and I think that makes sense that mine would be higher, even if only a little bit. Okay.
Low scorers do not feel effective.
And may have a sense they are not in control of their lives.
Sad.
Yeah.
Orderliness.
10. 17.
That makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah.
I guess.
You're much more organized.
Okay. Yeah. And they like to live according to routines and schedules. They keep lists and make plans.
Oh yeah. That's you.
That makes sense. Okay. Dutifulness?
17.
19. Yeah.
Really? What is that?
I mean, I feel like at work you would be more dutiful, but like, I don't know.
This scale reflects the strength of a person's sense of duty and obligation. Those who score high on the scale have a strong sense of moral obligation. Lower scores find contracts, rules, and regulations over.
So this is more me.
They're likely to be seen as unreliable or even irresponsible. Okay, so like low scores find contracts, rules, and regulations overly confining.
That makes sense.
Makes sense why I have a lower score.
Yeah, because you were breaking more rules than me, is what we said.
But the concept of having duty and obligation feels Gryffindor-y to me, so it doesn't make sense.
That mine would be higher.
Yours is higher.
Yeah. I don't know. That one's kind of weird. Achievement striving. I feel like mine should be higher than this. It's 16.
Mine's 17.
I feel like mine should be higher, just higher than that. Before I knew yours. What does it say?
Individuals who score high on this scale strive hard to achieve excellence. Their drive to be recognized as successful keeps them on track toward their lofty goals. I feel like this is you.
Well, this is a 20.
They often have a strong sense of direction in their life, but extremely high scores may be too single-minded and obsessed with their work. Low scores are content to get by with a minimal amount of work and might be seen by others.
I guess there are some times where maybe answering questions about being lazy or putting procrastination into consideration, maybe.
I definitely think this one should be like an 18 at the least for you.
Yeah, that's what I think. Especially with the last test we took, me getting was it the Achiever or something? It was like the Enneagram with the Type 3 was literally like achievement based and doing shit. So whatever. Anyway.
I like that we just took this test last time and I can't remember what you got. It's the Achiever. It is the Achiever.
Okay.
Self-discipline.
13.
15.
I was gonna say yours should be higher than mine.
Should be higher.
I want to see what it said. This one has the most interesting definitions.
I agree.
What many people call willpower, like I said, my will is weak, refers to the ability to persist at difficult or unpleasant tasks until they are completed. People who possess high self-discipline are able to overcome reluctance to begin tasks and stay on track despite distractions. Those with low self-discipline procrastinate and show poor follow-through, often failing to complete tasks even when they very much want to complete. So yeah, again, that's probably why it's not that low, is because I do still complete tasks and follow through. But procrastination is obviously a big issue. And I don't know. I feel like, yeah, you're definitely better at self-discipline than I am. Like, even us doing this work, now that we're doing the same kind of work, like, obviously there are other issues, which I've brought up, that are difficult to make it difficult to work. But there are certain things, like, I just suck at, like, doing that myself.
Yeah.
Anyway. Cautiousness. Mine's at 17.
13.
That makes sense. I was like, yours has to be lower here. I want to see what this says, too, though. It describes the disposition to think through possibilities before acting. High scorers take their time while making decisions. Low scorers often say or do the first thing that comes to mind without deliberating alternatives and probable consequences of those alternatives.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Because yours is still high, isn't it, technically?
It's high.
Because I wouldn't say you are the low scorer, but like compared to me,
I'm definitely lower than you.
Yes, exactly.
I don't always think what I say through. So
Yeah. Okay.
everything but orderliness is high for me. Orderliness, why can't I say that, is low for me.
I don't actually have anything that's low or not. I don't have anything that's not high, because my lowest is a 13, which is still counted as high.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
This was a really good test.
This was a good one. I like this one a lot more than I thought I would too.
Yeah. Well, that actually makes me really interested about taking the next test because it's similar. So.
True. Yeah.
But I don't think it's as accurate. I think this one is actually pretty accurate. Like, there's 120 questions, and it gets pretty detailed, so...
Yeah, and the descriptions are really good, so... Anyway, so I think we're done with that, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So, again, this test is on the website big5test.com, and if you're typing it, that is big, F-I-V-E -test.com, and you can find out more about this test and the 5 personality aspects on this website, and if you're interested in seeing your own results, the link is in the description.
Let us know what your big 5 results are in the Delirious Studios Discord server, also in the description.
And thank you for joining us today on this episode of Delirious Minds.
Minds.